Hi everyone and welcome to the JP Test Kitchen. So today, just in time for Easter, we've got a super easy hot cross bun recipe for you that is not only simple and really easy to do, super delicious as well. So we hope that you enjoy this cooking with us today and enjoying the fruits of your cooking at the end of this session. So first things first, before we jump in to check the ingredients that we need, just make sure that you've got your oven on and preheated to 180 degrees. Okay, so let's do a quick check on our ingredients that we need today. We need 1 cup of self-raising flour, 1 cup of Greek yogurt, 2 tablespoons of white sugar, 3/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 3 tablespoons of sultanas or raisins, an extra tablespoon of flour, an extra tablespoon of white sugar, and some warm water. I've also got some bowls, a spatula, a cake pan on hand, and a little bit of flour just for dusting our board a little bit later. So let's get into the mixing of these delicious hot cross buns. Okay, so basically what we have to do is to start by adding all of our ingredients, and it's essentially we're adding everything in together. So firstly, here goes our flour, our Greek yogurt. Once again, that's 1 cup of Greek yogurt. Quarter of a teaspoon of salt. 3/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. 2 tablespoons of white sugar. And 3 tablespoons of sultanas or raisins. And we're just going to mix all of this together to combine it into a beautiful dough. Just stirring it, folding it, spatula under and over, just making sure that we're getting all of the ingredients combining as it comes together into our hot cross bun dough. Okay, so once it starts to combine like that, we're just going to get a little bit of flour our work surface just to prevent it from sticking. We're going to scrape out our dough onto our work surface. I'm assuming everybody has nice clean hands. A little bit of flour. And we're just going to give this a gentle knead just to combine it all together. It's really just flattening it and folding it over. It's not a heavy knead like we would normally do with a lot of breads, pastas or pizza doughs. This one is really just about bringing the dough together completely and ensuring that it is nice and combined. Now it is quite a sticky dough, so don't be surprised. Just make sure that you've always got a little bit of flour on your hands and on your dough. So we're just going to do this about 10 or 15 times. So that's nice and combined. Okay. So what we need next is our baking pan or cake tin, roasting dish, whatever you have handy, it really doesn't matter. Just make sure that it is firstly oven proof and that you have greased and lined it. If it's not non-stick, I would put some baking paper in there as well, but if it is non-stick, if it's ceramic, it's generally okay just to give it a light coating of oil, cooking spray, or a little bit of butter, just to make sure that your hot cross buns don't actually stick when we put them in there. So we've got our dough. We're just going to make sure that's nice and floured, just using a knife. We're going to cut this basically into about 6 portions. Okay, and then with a little bit of flour in your hands, I'm just going to shape each one to a little round ball. Roll it around. Make sure it's nice and even. And then we're going to place that into our baking dish. Okay, and we're going to continue that with the rest of the dough. Just a little bit more flour to make sure it doesn't stick. Okay, next one in. More to go. If you're not a big fan of fruit, if you don't like raisins or sultanas, you could use choc chips. You could also change the fruit up. You know, you might want to put cranberries or currants, anything else that you actually feel like. Choc chips is definitely an option. Okay, just making these roughly all the same size. Okay, and putting them in there. Now, what would a hot cross bun be without a cross on top? We're just going to let that sit there, and we're just going to make the paste that goes on top of our hot cross buns. Okay, so for the paste for our hot cross buns, really simple. The extra tablespoon of flour that we had, and a couple of teaspoons of warm water. Okay. You'll also need a small bowl just to mix this in, and you could either use a piping bag, or I've just got a small Ziploc sandwich bag here that I'm going to use to put our paste in. So, flour in, a little bit of water. I just want to make this into a nice paste. Not too thick, not too runny. Put it on top of our buns. We want it to actually hold its shape and not just run off the side. Coming together nicely. Okay, now we're just going to transfer that into our piping bag or our sandwich bag. Nice and tight. Okay, and then we're going to bring it all into one corner and just twist it around like so. Okay, So let's bring our hot cross buns back. We're just going to snip the end of our piping back here. And very simply, we're going to a nice big line. Oops. And then we're going to pop those in the oven for roughly 20 to 25 minutes, depending on the heat of your oven and how quickly it actually cooks. So we'll put it in for 20, check on that, and then if it needs a little bit longer, we can come back and put it in for a few more minutes. So while our buns are cooking away in the oven, we're just going to make a quick glaze to actually put on top of our hot cross buns as soon as they come out, just to give them a nice shine and to make them a little bit more sticky. So we're going to add in a small pan, we're going to put equal parts water and sugar. And I'm just going to stir that around. Basically what we're making is a very simple sugar syrup. And we just want to be able to combine the sugar and the water. Into a nice glaze that will then brush on to our hot cross buns while they're still hot as soon as they come out of the oven. So we're just going to bring this to the boil. You don't necessarily have to do this on a cooktop. You can simply use, if you boil water in a kettle, and you can simply then pour that over. The essential part is to ensure that the sugar is dissolved completely and that you do have a syrup-like consistency that will then brush on easily on top of the hot cross buns. So we're just going to bring that to the boil. And then we'll check on our buns, which should almost be done. So our beautiful hot cross buns have just come out of the oven and they smell so good, and they're nice and golden brown. Got a little bit of colour on them. So we're just going to take our very simple sugar syrup that we made earlier, using a pastry brush. You could use a teaspoon, and we're just going to brush over the top of these to give them a nice gloss. Makes them a little bit sticky, but gives them a beautiful colour as well. If you don't have a pastry brush, a teaspoon or a small spoon works just as well, just to gently glaze these over. So they look nice and shiny, and oh god, they smell so good. So there you have it, our quick and easy hot cross buns. So simple to make and so delicious to eat. So we hope that you enjoyed that, and we look forward to bringing you another fun and exciting cooking project really soon. Take care.